So, Aditya Sawant, am I audible and the screen is visible?
So your screen is visible, sir.
Can hear me, no?
So can you increase your volume from your side?
I'm not audible.
So you're audible, but your voice is coming very low.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing about the index sheet and operation sheet. Now, hmm, uh, we were here. So as you know, this component, it has turning, it has milling this face. There is a flat milling, then there is a keyway milling, then the drilling tapping, and there is a grinding also. All right. So we just discussed operation number 20 and operation number 30. All right. So what is your operation number 20? In operation number 20, uh, you are doing this turning from this side. All right. And in operation number 30, you are machining from this side. So let me zoom this, maximize this. So this is just a repetition. Operation number 20, that is setup 1. So clamp on diameter 30. So you have to write here as much as uh, in detail as much as is possible. So here clamp on diameter 30 in 3 chuck and perform facing. Then turn diameter 27, 30, diameter 30.7. Then do the growing, hmm, and do the taper, then also do the drill, and then do the tapping from the tail stroke. So this the department is machine shop. The machine is going to be turret lathe, because in turret lathe you can mount various tools, and the various tools which you are going to need is facing tool, then OD turning tool. As far as possible, try to write the specification, but if you cannot write the specification, then you just mention facing tool, then OD turning tool. Okay, then your grooving tool, that is third tool. Then you have your drill, that is M16 kili, that is 14 diode rule, and then tap M16. Just don't write tapping tool or drilling tool. So drill, to you know it is 14 diode drill, and tap, you know it is M16 tap. So at least mention that much, whatever is possible. Hmm? And then here, what are the, now here you have fixtures, you know what it says here. See, this is machine and here is a fixture. So in fixtures you can write here three jaw chuck, three jaw chuck, three jaw hard chuck, or four jaw chuck, because this is setup one, and then first side is not machine. So you can mention these also. Fixtures may you can mention this also, that you can mention that three jaw hard jaw chuck or four jaw hard jaw chuck. Then gauges, since it is mass production, you are going to use go and no go gauges for your OD turning, and you are using plug gauge for checking the diameter 14 drill, and you are using M16 tap. So M16 gauge also, there is a thread gauge. So thread gauge also you have, go and no go thread gauges are available, so that also you can mention here. Then you have to find out, and as I told that you have to write, you have to attach a sheet here, you have to write it in a piece of paper, all this calculation. So 25 is the cutting speed, and 0.2 is the feed rate, that is millimeter per revolution. You assume that you are taking only a single cut. Assume that you are taking only a single cut. So how to find out? First, find out the RPM. So you are holding on this diameter. So this diameter is how much? 30. Let us take it as 30. So V is equal to pi dn upon 1000. So V is 25 here. So 25 is equal to pi into this diameter is यहाँ से यहाँ, this diameter is 30, this diameter is 35. Hmm. So you will get RPM n. Then you find out the machining length. So like suppose if you are using facing tool can be used for OD turning also. So one cut on facing. So this length, then taper ka this length, then this length, and then this length. All this length you have to calculate. Okay, and then divided by the feed rate. So suppose if the length is in millimeter, divided by feed rate in millimeter per minute. Okay, and how to get feed rate in millimeter per minute? You have to calculate that is RPM multiplied by feed, that is 0.2 millimeter per revolution. So we'll get feed rate in, like suppose if the RPM is say 1000, so 1000 into 0.2, so that will be 200 millimeter per minute. And suppose if you get this length as say 50 millimeter, so 50 divided by 200, so that is 1 by 4 minute. Okay, so uh, so find out all time this for facing, for this turning, for this taper turning, then for this grooving. That means you have to find out the timing for each and every tool. Now here, how many tools you are going to need? You are going to need facing tool and facing and OD turning tool. So that will be doing this operation. Then second is you are going to use this taper forming tool. Okay, so for that you have to find out the time. Then third is your growing tool. All this you are doing in this operation. Third is your growing tool. Then fourth is your drill 14, and then fifth is your tap. So five timings you have to calculate, and then you have to add, and that you have to write here. Okay, so this is the third column. This you can um, ignore, third column and fourth column. So this you have to write here machining time. Okay, then mention production per hour. How much will be the production per hour? All right. So that will be just 60 divided by 4.5. So that will be your production per hour. And then considering 8 hour shift, you can considering 8 hour shift, you can calculate the shift ka production. What will be the production for the shift? Okay. Then man required, you can uh, ignore, and setup time also you can ignore, because setting time is only for beginning only, in the beginning only. So setup time is say 30 minutes in the beginning, and this you are not considering. Now remember here, whatever calculation you do machining time, you have to take 15% more, that is for the tool change and for the rapid travels. All right. Then now next operation is you are holding here. Either you hold here or hold here, and you do this facing, this turning, then drilling and tapping. So I'll quickly go through this. So that is your operation number 30, setup 2. So hold diameter 35.7 in 3 jaw chuck, then perform facing, then turn, then drill, okay, and then tap. Okay, department is machine shop. Then machine name is turret lathe. Then you will be using facing and OD turning tool. Then you will use drill, and then you will use tap. Okay. Then again go and no go gauges for your diameter. Then your plug gauge for drill, and then thread gauge for your tap. So similarly, you have to find out the machining time for this operation, and then what will be the production rate for shift. Again, so that means here you are going to have only four columns. That is, what is the cutting speed you are going to use, what is the feed rate, you write down the unit here, millimeter per revolution. Then what is your machining time, that is third column. And then what is your production per hour, uh, and production per shift is not required, so only four columns you can write. Fine. Then next operation is your milling machine. So here now what you are doing, hold and clamp between center and perform milling operation. Now this is a keyway milling. Okay, so perform keyway milling operation, and the keyway size is 10 by 26 by 6. All right, so 10 is the width, the 26 is the length, and 6 is the depth. Okay, so machine shop, then machine name is vertical milling machine. Then you are going to use milling fixture, that is for holding the component. Okay, and then this face milling cutter, what he has written, that is wrong. So this has to be a end mill. And what is the size of end mill? End mill diameter 10. End mill diameter 10. Okay, then go no go plug gauge. This snap gauge, what he has written, that is wrong, because you are checking the width of the keyway, and the width of the keyway is how much? It is uh, width of the keyway is 10. Let us see in the drawing how much it is. So this is the width of the keyway, which is nothing but the 10. All right. So here you will be using go no go plug gauge, diameter 10. As far as possible, write on the size of the plug gauge. So dia 10, go no go plug gauge. Again, your cutting speed is 25, then your feed rate is 0.2 millimeter per revolution. Then find out the machining time. Assume only single cut. Find out the machining time. Assume only single cut. All right. Then what will be the production per hour? Like suppose if the machining time is 1.18, you have to always take 15% more for tool change and for loading, unloading, for removal of the chip, and for inspecting the component on the machine. Fine. And then production per hour. Production per shift is not required. Uh, so this minimum four columns will be required. Speed, feed rate, then uh, machining time per hour, machining time and machining time per hour. Setup time, again in the remarks, if you want to write, you can write setup time, but it is not compulsory. Now next is your operation number 50. Now this is, you are holding the component. Now this this is your flat milling. That is this flat milling. So you are holding it in a dividing head, because you have to rotate this twice, isn't it? Through 180 degree you have to rotate. So you have to do this flat milling. Mm. And you have to maintain across flat as 25.6, and this is total is 35.7. So 35.7 minus 25.6 is almost 10. Mm. So you are going to remove 5 from each side. So this is clamp diameter 35.7, and perform flat milling operation with the dividing head. Mm. And across flat you have to maintain 25.6. 25.6. Fine. And you are doing it in a machine shop. Machine name is machine same, vertical milling machine. Then you are holding it. You are using now, instead of milling fixture, you can directly write dividing head. That is what you are going to use. And again here, uh, face milling, instead of face milling cutter, you have to use end mill. Now what will be the size of the end mill? Try to use the maximum uh, size of the end mill, so that you can complete it in one go. Now this flat size, this is 13 okay, so you can just do like this. Okay, so you can use end mill of say 13 and you can pass the end mill like this. Okay, so in one go you can complete if you are using 13 or more. Suppose if you are using diameter 10 end mill, then you will have to do two passes, like this and like this. So if you are using 15, or even if you are using 20 die end mill, so you can complete it in one pass. You can complete it in one pass like this. आप एक पास में complete कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So that will be faster. So here you must mention instead of face milling cutter, you mention diameter 20 end mill cutter. Fine. Then go no go snap gauge, that is right. That is for checking the size of 25.6, isn't it? This is what you are going to maintain. So since this is mass production, you can go for the go no go snap gauge. So you just maintain go no go snap gauge for 25.6. Your go no go plug gauge for 10. So like that, plug gauge here for diameter 14. Then threading gauge, go no go thread gauge for M16. So like that, you have to mention here. Then as I told you, cutting speed and feed. Hmm, and this is the machining time, increase it by 15%, and then calculate the machining, do the calculations, fine. And production per shift, that is not required, so you can just mention your uh, machining time and just mention production per hour. Hmm? So production per shift is not required because it is repetitive, isn't it? And remember, you have to show this calculation on a separate sheet. Then next operation. So next operation is now, here he has said applying copper sulfate on threads to avoid hardening, because we have to keep thread soft. You have to keep thread soft, and now it is being sent to heat treatment. Correct. So here the department is wrong. Machine shop. So you have to write here heat treatment shop. Okay, heat treatment shop. Then machine name, you can say hardening machine. Now let us see whether they want induction hardening or what. So here they have said induction hardening to RC45 except M16. So throughout, here, everywhere, it is to be induction hardened, and thread is to be kept soft. Thread is to be kept soft. So that's why either you can plug it this, or you can apply a copper sulfate paste. So the copper sulfate is heat resistant, so it will not allow this thread to get heated, so that there will not be any austenitic formation during heat treatment or hardening. So thread will remain soft. So that is what he has mentioned here. And then you can take your own judgment. So machine name is, you can say induction hardening machine. Then you can say your hardening fixture. In fixtures and tools, you can say hardening fixtures, then hardening fixture for mounting, and then coil, isn't it, for heating. So these two things will come in hardening setup. That is hardening fixture for clamping the workpiece, and coil for hitting the workpiece, isn't it? And then chilling arrangement. Okay, so this will come into the fixtures, chilling arrangement, because unless and until the material is heated and chilled, hmm, you will not get martensitic formation. Then in the gauges, you have to write here hardness tester, for checking the hardness and case depth. Hardness and checking the case depth. So here you have to write hardness tester and case depth tester. Hardness tester and case depth tester. Hmm, Case depth tester. Now uh, in the time, you can just take your own judgment. As I told, for induction hardening, you can consider around 2 3 minutes, because case hardening is very fast. You have to uh, pass the current, then it will get heated in few seconds. Then you have to hold it, then you have to chill it. That is, you have to apply water jet, and then you have to remove it. Okay, so you can take it around the 3 minutes. So here you can write around 3 minutes. So production per hour will be 60 divided by 3. So that will be 20 pieces. Now here he has taken 2 minutes. So that is also fine. But 3 minutes is reasonably good, good time. 2 minutes is, you can say, it is optimistic time. Hmm, Optimistic. It is also possible 2 minutes, but on the high, let us take it on higher side. loading, unloading, considering because there will be a water, isn't it? So that water has to be cleaned, has to be drained out, to be dried out. So you have to blow with the help of air, then clean it, and then place the component, and then start heating. Fine. Okay. So that was your induction hardening. So you must write this induction hardening card time. Okay, you can take it as 3 minutes. Then after this, you have to say cleaning of the centers. Okay, because you are going to use centers here. Center there will be a chamfer here, isn't it? So the cleaning of this chamfers and straightening, so that you can write it as one operation, because during hardening this gets oxidized, so you need to clean it before you put it uh, for grinding. So I want to mention this. I have told you many times that operation number 80 has to be hmm, operation number 80 has to be your operation number 80 has to be your grinding. All right. uh, uh, Operation number 80, so not grinding. Operation number 80 has to be your cleaning, uh, cleaning between centers, and then straightening. So operation number 80, just write cleaning and straightening. So for this cleaning, if you want to show separately, it is better. So because cleaning is done on other machine, separate machine, and straightening is done on other machine. So you let us write it separately. So operation number 80 will say cleaning of the center, uh, or cleaning of the chamfer, cleaning of the center holes, or cleaning of the chamfer holes. Okay. So that again you can do it on a machine shop, and you can do it on a drilling machine. You can do it on drilling machine. Fine. And in the fixture you can just write uh, so here you write drilling machine, and in the gauges you can write a wooden piece, a countersunk wooden piece, because you are using a wooden piece uh, having a taper, of the chamfer, and you can say abrasive powder, or you can say abrasive paste which will be used for cleaning the centers, right? And you can take for this operation, you can take around 2 minutes for cleaning of the both the centers. Okay. And then straightening, so operation number 90 will be straightening. So again you can write machine shop. Okay. And then you can say straightening will be done on the press, huh? Will be done on the press machine. Fine. And then you are going to use in the fixtures, you are going to use a holding fixture for straightening. All right. Then in the gauges you can write here, you know dial indicator or dial gauge for checking whether it is bend or out. Then again here you can take for straightening also, you can take 4 minutes, okay, per piece, or 3 minutes. 3 minutes is okay. So that will be 20 pieces. In cleaning under the column gauges, you can just say, visual um, visual inspection. You will just check whether that oxidized film has been removed or not, so it will be checked visually. So you can either put a dash here, and in the remark you can check, you can write that it will be inspected visually, or you can here also say visual inspection. And then last operation, that is 100 operation, that will be hold the workpiece between center, and you grind all this diameter, that is 27.2 that this. So you are going to grind this diameter, then this diameter, this diameter. Okay, and here the grinding is not no, here also grinding is required. So this taper also you are grinding. So this. All right. So this will be done in this will be done in two setups. You are holding it between center. So you are grinding this with the help of a grinding wheel, and then this taper grinding will be done with the help of a form grinding wheel. Okay, form grinding wheel. Fine. So first you will be finishing this. So grinding will be done in uh, two uh, two setups. So you can say 100. In 100 we are doing cylindrical grinding of this diameter, this and this diameter. Okay, and then 110 may again holding between center and this form taper grinding. This uh, and this is form taper grinding. This is form taper grinding. Fine. This is form taper grinding. Hmm. So that will be operation number 110. So grinding is done into two setups. So that is 100 and 110. So in 100 and 100 may you will do this grinding between center. Then machine shop. Then we have cylindrical grinding. All right, cylindrical grinding machine. Then you will say grinding wheel here. Then of course go no go gauges for checking this. And then here this is wrong. This cutting speed for the grinding we use 8. huh? You can use 8, and the feed rate is too low, so this is taken wrong. So cutting speed will be 8 meters per minute, and feed rate you have to take around 2 millimeter per revolution, because grinding may the table moves little fast. Okay, and then you can calculate the timing. And then operation number 110. So again you are holding between center and you are doing form taper grinding. Form taper grinding again, same machine shop, then cylindrical grinding machine. Then under this tool you can write form grinding wheel, form grinding wheel. Then again under gauges you can write taper taper gauge. You can write uh, taper ring gauge. And here it will be all go no go snap gauge for these diameters 4. Again you can find out the machining time for this. Okay, now once you have done all this, so again I will just summarize this. So here you have operation number 10, that is raw material inspection. Then 20 setup 1 turning, then setup 30 turning from other side. Then 40 is keyway milling. Then 50 is flat milling. Then operation number 60 is applying copper sulfate. Then operation number 70, that is cleaning the center. Then operation number 80 is um, straightening. So here you have to add this two operations, that is 70. Operation number 70 is hardening. Then operation number 80 is cleaning the center. Then operation number 90 is straightening. Then operation number 100 is cylindrical grinding, all plain diameter. And operation number 110 is taper grinding, because here you have to grind this taper also. So that is your operation number 110. Now you have to identify the bottleneck operation. You have to identify the bottleneck operation. What bottleneck operation means, which operation taking more time, and accordingly you have to calculate the delivery time for 5,000 pieces. Or you 5,000 pieces when it can be delivered. So or by the operation which is taking more time, which is taking more time. So I think here the bottleneck operation is going to be as per this. Suppose if I consider his timing, whatever timing he has written, if correct, he has not mentioned hardening, but hardening and straightening, as I told, it can be 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So the maximum time required is over here. Maximum time required is here. So this is what is bottleneck operation. So your delivery time will be decided by this. So now if if I take this as correct, then 112 pieces per shift. 112 pieces per shift. So like that, you calculate how many shifts will be required. So if you assume two shifts in a day, so you will be able to manufacture say, around 220 pieces, and then 5,000 divided by, let us say, 200. So 200. So uh, you can complete this in 25 days. You can complete this in 25 days. Uh, Order of 5,000 pieces. So annually we have to do 60,000 pieces. Okay. So you will be able to complete 5,000 pieces in 1 month. In 1 month there are 25 days, but you have to work for two shifts. If you work for three shifts, then you will be completing delivery time still faster. So 60,000 pieces can be completed in per annum with existing setup. That is, you will need this many machine, lathe machine. This so one lathe machine. This is second lathe machine. Okay, then this is what a process engineer is going to take the decision, right? So if he wants to complete 60,000 pieces, okay, in a year, so uh, that means 5,000 pieces he has to do in a month. 5,000 pieces, hmm, 5,000 pieces in a month, and considering weekly off, it will be 25 days in a week. 25 days in a week. And if it is 25 days in a month, so our target will be to make 200 pieces. So how many machines I am going to need? I am going to need two turret lathe. So this is what, as a process engineer, you have to put it in front of management. Two turret lathes, then two vertical milling machine, because this is in flow, isn't it? You are doing all this simultaneously. Like set up one, this first piece is done, then it will go to this, then it will go to milling, hmm, then second milling machine, okay, then it will go for manual operation, right? That is applying copper sulfate. So one person here, all right. Then one induction hardening machine, then one drilling machine for cleaning, then one straightening machine, that is press, and then two cylindrical grinding machines will be required to complete this task of 60,000 pieces in a year. And you have to also put a remark that you need to work in two shifts. You need to work in two shifts. And number of peoples that will be required will be one, two, three, then here 5, then 6, then 7 for the cleaning, then 8 on the press, then 9 and 10. Okay. So 110. So that means there will be there are 11 operations. So minimum 11 peoples. Even for, because for the raw material inspection also you need person, isn't it? For cleaning also you need person. So minimum 11 people, and plus supporting staff for material handling from one machine to other machine, isn't it? And uh, QC people, one or two QC people in between you will need for uh, stage inspection. We call it the stage inspection, or we call it as the in process inspection. Hmm. So you can say around 11 operators here, and one or two helpers for moving in between department to department, that is for metal handling, and inspector, quality control inspector for final inspection. And again, operation number 120 we have missed, that is actually packing and that is marking, packing, and dispatching. Okay, so uh, for that also you will need one person, right? So, but that is fast operation, so that is not going to be a bottleneck operation. But you have to mention that. I actually forgot. So operation number 120 will be that is ID punching, engraving or etching. Okay, then final inspection. Okay, and you can write the A, B, C. That is ID marking. Then final inspection, and then A is ID marking or ID etching. Okay, then B is going to be your final inspection, and C will be packing and dispatching. So operation number 120A, that is ID marking. So there you can say machine shop. Name of the machine you can say laser machine or etching machine. Then tool will be a laser. Okay, and again here you are checking visually only whether the ID mark has come or not. And here you can take, timing. Laser is very fast, so laser it will take almost 10 seconds, for marking, for loading, and for unloading. 10 seconds per piece. Then 120 B, we say final inspection. So final inspection, you can say here department, that is quality control room or quality assurance room. Then machine name uh, you can say CMM, but here CMM is not required. So you can just write here you can write say quality assurance department. In quality assurance department, you can write quality control department, and then under this, tools. You can say if you need any fixtures, then you have to write the fixtures name. But here the fixtures are not required, so you can just mention the gauges. So gauges may you can write micrometer, dial indicator, hmm, and thread gauge and taper gauge. And timing may you can write around say 2 or 3 minutes, and in the remark you can say around 10% of the component will be checked. Even if you write 5 minutes also, even if you take 5 minutes also, that is also fine, because you are not going to do 100% inspection. Out of 100 pieces you are going to check only 10 pieces. So that was your operation number B in 120. And then in 130 you can say packing and dispatching. So packing and dispatching, you can say here the department will be stores. Okay, and then machine name you can say nil. Okay, and under the tools you can say boxes, so kind of boxes, wooden boxes, right? Then gauges may you can say bubble paper, or if required, or bubble paper is not required because you can just keep it in a box and you can dispatch it. So this is how you will do this, right? So here I have added, I have done some corrections. You can take it as a reference, that what are the corrections here. After 70, I have added cleaning, then that is 80, then operation number 90 is straightening, then 100 is grinding of this 4 diameter, then 110 is form taper grinding, then 120 may I have added 3 more operations, that is ID marking on laser machine, and then inspection in QC room, final inspection, and then C I have marked as packing and dispatching. That will be in stores. Okay, that will be in store. So this is how you have to uh, complete this proposal. And once this is accepted, then you have to take some pilot run, and you have to prove the components on. As a process engineer, you have to prove the component on each and every machine. Huh? Of course, not you alone. You will be taking the help of the operators. Operator will be average operator, that is not highly skilled and not unskilled. Then once all these timings are set, then you have to negotiate with the union. That is very important. See, this is what is your timing is, and this is what is the production rate is. So this much production has to be given by each and every operator, and then you have to work upon some kind of incentive schemes. That is if they are producing more, then suitable incentive will be given. Hmm. So once that negotiation with done with the union, then you have to prepare the SOPs for each and every operation. SOPs, standard operating procedure. In SOPs, you have to write all the setups, the process pictures, what kind of tools, what kind of chucks is going to be required, where the tools and where the chucks are available, everything in detail. That is, once you see or once you look at the SOP, then it should be clear. And that SOPs you have to put in front of every machine, right? Then you have to also prepare the root cards. Root cards you have to pack it in a, you have to laminate, or you have to keep it in a plastic bag, and that root card is going to flow with the pallets, in which the components are putting. So every pallet in which you have a wooden box will carry the root card, and in the root card it will be mentioned, which job it is, so that otherwise the peoples, while material handling, the peoples will not understand, that what is this component is. So for that, root card is very essential. So this is how you have to do the operation sheet, for uh, ball pillar, for the ball pillar. So if you have any doubt, you please ask. Aditya, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you want to discuss any more component, you let me know. Hmm. Ball pillar, so I have discussed and I have already uploaded also. This also I have uploaded. So when you are preparing the operation sheet for ball pillar, you can take help of this. Hmm. And whatever machining time calculation you will do, you attach the rough sheet. Rough sheet means you attach that calculation.
Okay, sir.
It should not be rough. It has to be clearly written so that the reader will understand. Okay. Then we will start with. I think tomorrow, day after tomorrow, there will not be lectures. Holiday. Okay. Then we'll start with remaining, chapters like computer-aided process planning, ERP, all those small thoughts, chapters are there, which are uh, generally the short notes are asked on these chapters. And if you want me to cover, or if you want me to take any chapters again, you just let me know. Hmm. Otherwise, major portion is covered. Only some 8 to 12 marks, like what is CAPP, what is ERP, what is most, like those, Then what is the difference between SPM and GPM, general purpose machine and special purpose machine? Then some kind of processes like centerless grinding, induction hardening. So these are the topics which are remaining. All right, we'll call it a day. Thank you so much.